Imagine your phone vibrates. You glance at the screen, a notification from your bank. You open your account, and suddenly, your balance has changed forever. $1 million. For a moment, you stop breathing. Your heart starts racing. Your hands begin to shake. Every dream you've ever had feels like it's about to come true. No more bills, no more financial stress, no more worrying about tomorrow. You can finally buy the house you've always wanted, drive the car you've dreamed about, travel anywhere in the world. It feels like freedom. The kind of freedom most people spend their entire lives chasing. But what if that single notification was actually the beginning of the biggest mistake of your life? Because history has shown us something almost impossible to believe. Some people have become millionaires overnight, only to lose everything: their money, their families, their friendships, even their peace of mind. One man won more than $314 million in a single night. Years later, he said something that shocked the world. "I wish I had torn up the ticket. How can someone win hundreds of millions of dollars and still end up wishing it had never happened?" Today, we're going to find out, because becoming rich may be far more dangerous than becoming poor. The first few minutes don't feel real. You check your bank account again and again. Maybe the app is broken. Maybe someone made a mistake. Maybe you're still dreaming, but the number doesn't change. $1 million or more. Suddenly, the world looks different. The coffee you drink every morning, the apartment you've always wanted to leave, the car you drive, the job you complain about. Everything seems to belong to a different version of your life. Your mind begins racing. I can quit my job. I can buy my dream house. I can travel the world. I never have to worry about money again. It feels like you've just escaped a prison, one you didn't even realize you were living in. But while your imagination is busy spending the money, something else is happening inside your brain. Scientists have discovered that unexpected financial rewards activate the brain's dopamine reward system, the same network involved in excitement, motivation, and anticipation. For a brief moment, your brain experiences one of the biggest emotional highs it has ever felt. Your heart beats faster, adrenaline rises, sleep becomes almost impossible, thoughts race endlessly, not because you're in danger, but because your brain has just experienced something it was never designed to process overnight. Then, a different emotion quietly appears: fear. What if someone finds out? Should I tell my family? Can I trust my friends? What if someone tries to take advantage of me? Who can I actually trust now? The excitement hasn't disappeared, but it's no longer the only emotion in the room. Because becoming rich doesn't just change your bank account. It changes the way you see the world, and sometimes, the way the world sees you. But that transformation is only beginning, because over the next few days, you'll discover something even more surprising. Money doesn't only attract opportunities. Sometimes, it attracts people you've never seen before. At first, you think the biggest change is your bank account, but you're wrong. The biggest change is people. Imagine that somehow the news gets out. Maybe you tell one friend. Maybe a family member accidentally mentions it. Maybe someone simply notices that your life suddenly looks different. It doesn't matter how, because once people know, there's no going back. Your phone starts ringing. Again and again. Messages begin appearing from people you haven't spoken to in years. Old classmates, distant relatives, former co-workers. Some just want to congratulate you. Others have an opportunity, a business idea, an investment, a loan they'll pay back soon, an emergency only you can solve. And at first, you want to help. After all, you finally have enough money. Why not make everyone's life better? But then something strange begins to happen. Every conversation starts sounding the same. Can I ask you a small favor? It won't cost you much. You have plenty now. The hardest part isn't saying yes, it's saying no. Because every time you refuse, you wonder, have I become selfish? Or are they only here because of my money? Psychologists have long observed that sudden wealth can dramatically change social relationships, not because money changes everyone else overnight, but because it changes expectations. People begin to see your wealth before they see you, and little by little, trust becomes something you question. Who genuinely cares about you? Who only cares about what you can give them? For many lottery winners, this becomes one of the most painful parts of becoming rich. Not losing money, losing certainty. The certainty of knowing who truly belongs in your life. But while your relationships begin to change, something even more surprising is happening. The excitement, the overwhelming happiness you felt on the first day is already beginning to fade. And that's when science reveals one of the biggest secrets of human happiness. Your brain was never designed to stay excited forever. 1 week has passed. The excitement is still there, but it's quieter now. The $1 million are still sitting in your account. Nothing has disappeared. And yet, something feels different. The rush you felt on the first day has already begun to fade. At first, that doesn't make any sense. How can someone become a millionaire and start feeling normal again? The answer lies inside your brain. In 1978, psychologists conducted one of the most fascinating studies ever published on happiness. They compared people who had recently won large lottery prizes with ordinary people, and even with individuals who had suffered life-changing accidents. The researchers expected lottery winners to be dramatically happier. After all, how could they not be? They had just received more money than most people could earn in a lifetime. But the results surprised everyone. Months later, many lottery winners were no happier than the average person. Some even reported enjoying everyday pleasures less than they had before winning. A simple cup of coffee, a walk outside, a quiet evening with family. Moments that once brought genuine happiness no longer felt as special. Why? Because the human brain has an extraordinary ability. It adapts. Psychologists call this hedonic adaptation. Think about the first time you bought a new phone. For the first few days, you couldn't stop looking at it. Every notification felt exciting. Every feature felt amazing. But after a few weeks, it simply became your phone. The excitement disappeared, not because the phone changed, but because your brain did. Now imagine that same process, not with a phone, but with $1 million. The mansion becomes your normal house. The luxury car becomes your normal car. Business class flights become ordinary. What once felt extraordinary slowly becomes expected. Your lifestyle rises, but your baseline happiness often returns to where it was before. That's one of the greatest illusions about wealth. We believe money creates permanent happiness, but in many cases, it simply creates a new version of normal. And once that happens, your brain starts searching for something bigger. Another goal, another purchase, another thrill, because it has already adapted to the last one. The question is no longer, how much money do I have? The question becomes, why doesn't it feel like enough anymore? And for many new millionaires, that question leads to the most dangerous decision they'll ever make. They stop buying what they need and start chasing a feeling that can never be purchased. At first, you tell yourself something simple. I'll only buy one nice house, just one dream car, maybe a vacation I've always wanted. After all, you've earned it, or at least it feels like you have. And individually, none of these decisions seem dangerous. A beautiful home, a luxury car, designer clothes, first-class flights, they're just rewards for your new life. But here's the problem. Almost no purchase comes alone. A bigger house means higher taxes, higher insurance, more maintenance, more furniture, more employees. A luxury car needs expensive repairs, premium insurance, higher fuel costs, and eventually, another luxury car. Without realizing it, your expenses begin growing just as quickly as your income once did. Psychologists and economists call this lifestyle inflation. It's one of the most common financial traps in the world. Not because people become irresponsible overnight, but because every upgrade quietly becomes the new normal. The life that once felt luxurious soon feels ordinary, and ordinary no longer feels enough. That's when the spending accelerates. A bigger house, a faster car, a private vacation, a business investment, another investment, another risk. Because when money feels unlimited, limits begin to disappear, and something even more dangerous happens. Many people believe that money can solve every problem. A difficult relationship, loneliness, stress, anxiety, family conflicts. But money was never designed to fix problems it didn't create. In fact, sometimes it makes those problems even bigger. The pressure grows, expectations grow, the fear of losing everything grows, and before long, the person who once dreamed of becoming rich discovers something unexpected. Having money can be just as stressful as not having it. Then, reality arrives. The bank account that once looked endless begins shrinking, not all at once, slowly, quietly, almost invisibly, until one day, you ask yourself a question you never thought you'd ask. Where did all the money go? And for one man, that question marked the beginning of a tragedy that shocked the entire world. His name was Jack Whittaker. Christmas Day, December 25th, 2002. For most people, it was just another holiday. But for one man, it became the day his entire life changed forever. His name was Jack Whittaker. Unlike many lottery winners, Jack wasn't poor. He wasn't struggling to pay his bills. In fact, he was already a successful businessman. His construction company had made him worth nearly $17 million. He had a comfortable life, a successful career, a loving family, everything most people spend decades trying to build. Then, he bought a few lottery tickets, just one ordinary decision, one ordinary day. And suddenly, the impossible happened. Jack won $314.9 million. At the time, it was the largest single lottery jackpot ever won by one person in American history. Imagine standing there, holding a ticket worth more money than most people could earn in several lifetimes. Newspapers called him the luckiest man in America. Television crews surrounded him. Photographers followed him everywhere. The whole country wanted to know, what would he do with all that money? At first, the story looked beautiful. Jack donated millions of dollars to churches, charities, and people in need. He even bought a house and a brand new car for the store clerk who had sold him the winning ticket. People admired him. He looked like the perfect example of generosity. But sometimes, life changes quietly, before it changes completely. Only a few days after becoming famous, Jack walked into a nightclub carrying nearly $50,000 in cash. He left it sitting on the bar, where everyone could see it. It was the first sign that something had changed, not just his bank account, but the way he thought about money. Then, the tragedies began. More than $500,000 was stolen from his car in separate incidents. People constantly asked him for money. Lawsuits followed. Pressure never disappeared. His marriage collapsed after more than 40 years together. Then came the deepest tragedy of all. His beloved granddaughter, whom he often spoiled with generous weekly allowances, became trapped in drug addiction. In 2004, she was found dead. She was only 17 years old. Jack later said that winning the lottery had played a devastating role in the chain of events that destroyed his family. Years later, his home burned to the ground. His fortune had almost disappeared. And the man once described as the luckiest person in America made a heartbreaking confession during an interview. He said, "I wish I'd torn that ticket up." Think about that for a moment. A man who once held more than $314 million didn't wish he had invested better. He didn't wish he'd bought fewer cars. He didn't wish he'd won even more money. He wished he had never won at all. Jack Whittaker passed away in 2020. His story is still remembered today, not because he won one of the biggest lottery prizes in history, but because his life became one of the world's most powerful reminders that money can change everything, sometimes in ways no one ever expects. So, does becoming a millionaire always end in disaster? No, not even close. For every tragic headline, there are people you've never heard about. Why? Because they did something remarkably simple. They slowed down. Instead of buying a mansion, they waited. Instead of quitting their job, they thought. Instead of announcing their fortune to the world, they stayed quiet. Financial experts often give the same advice to people who suddenly receive a large amount of money. Don't make major decisions immediately. Build a trusted team, a financial advisor, a tax professional, a lawyer, people whose job is to protect your future, not spend your fortune. Another important lesson: don't confuse wealth with income. Many people believe that if they have $1 million, they can spend like millionaires forever. But that's not how money works. Every expensive purchase creates another expensive responsibility. Real wealth isn't measured by what you buy. It's measured by how long your money continues working for you. The people who keep their fortunes usually don't live the loudest lives. In fact, many of them still drive ordinary cars, live in reasonable homes, and avoid unnecessary attention because they understand something that many lottery winners discover too late. The fastest way to lose your freedom is trying to prove you're rich. And perhaps that's the greatest lesson hidden inside every lottery story. Money doesn't change human nature. It reveals it. It amplifies your habits, your discipline, your fears, your generosity, your weaknesses. If you were patient before becoming rich, you'll probably remain patient afterward. If you constantly chased excitement before becoming rich, money simply gives you the ability to chase bigger and more expensive mistakes. In the end, the lottery was never Jack Whittaker's greatest victory or his greatest tragedy. It was a mirror, one that reflected every decision he made afterward. So, let's go back to where we started. Imagine your phone vibrates. You open your bank account, and there it is, $1 million. Would your life change? Absolutely. Would some of your problems disappear? Of course. Money can buy comfort, security, freedom from many financial worries. But science tells us something fascinating. After a while, your brain adapts. Luxury becomes ordinary, extraordinary becomes expected, and happiness begins searching for something new. History tells us something else. Money doesn't just test your ability to earn, it tests your ability to choose who you trust, what you value, and who you become when nothing seems out of reach. Perhaps the real question was never, what happens if you become a millionaire overnight? The real question is, would you still be the same person 1 year later? Because becoming rich may be the easiest part. Staying happy is the challenge that money can never guarantee. If you enjoyed this documentary and you want to explore more incredible what happens if scenarios backed by science, psychology, and real history, make sure to subscribe, because the next question might completely change the way you see the world. This is what happens if.